The very nature of desiring something or wanting means that you do not have it. So the habit of desiring desire creates a perpetual dissatisfaction. Because once you attain the thing that you think you desire, you actually were just desiring desire. They say, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. Kind of a similar thing. Fear comes from fear. Desire comes from desire. So, better to not desire, and better to enjoy without desire. The allure of the feeling of desire is that you will attain what you want, what you desire, and then it will be satisfied. But that's not actually the truth. Again, it is the desire itself that perpetuates desire, just like fear perpetuates fear. And I'm sure the same can be said about a number of other abstract things. Fear and desire are actually not too distant from each other. Desire is sort of the mirror of fear. It's like two sides of the same thing. One is insatiable, both are insatiable. There is not enough fear to ever be satisfied. You will always escalate if you give in to fear. It will escalate to more fear and then to terror. And there's really nothing to fear and there's nothing to actually desire. Because it is not the thing that you fear. These are, again, desire is desire, fear is fear. It is not something you fear. It is fear that is leading the way of why you fear. Just like with desire, it is not something you desire. It is desire leading the way to what you may attain things. What you think you desire, you've achieved. You'll never be satisfied. And that's the point. So, instead of desiring, better to plan and envision what you wish to come into your life. Wishing is not quite the same as desiring. You can wish and still be satisfied and not desire. You wish for things, wish for events, wish for certain elements to enter into your life. Visualize, think about these things, and know at the end of the day that it's coming, that it's already there, and it's just a matter of you colliding with it, your timeline colliding with this that you know you already possess in the future. So everything belongs to us as a birthright here. Forget all this non-possessive anti-power propaganda you hear across the social medias and all this propaganda being pushed out by these videos and even by religion. It is okay to possess. It is okay to have control. Power is good. Possession is okay. Ownership is okay. As long as one understands that to actually have something is to care for that, whatever it is. If you do not care for what you have, if you do not have care for what you have, then it doesn't actually belong to you. Because everything's reciprocal. Everything's a relationship. So if there is no care, then there is no ownership. So, for example, people who think that that ownership has to do with money think of it as a purchasing transactional thing, and they're under this illusion that money is real. Money is not real. Money does not determine ownership. This is a widespread delusion across the masses today that enslaves. It is a slavery trick. So the natives caring for the land and creating the forest as a big garden, tending to it, land management style, classic land management style without money. This was a reciprocal relationship that the ownership was implicit in this relationship. So that is true ownership, true possession. What you have with money is the illusion of that, hey, I have this abstract man-printed thing that says that I am worth this amount and that I can use this to purchase this. You would not need to purchase something if it already inherently, if it actually does belong to you. So money gives the illusion to others as well, those who go along with it. Part of it is that we are coerced. Part of it is an illusion plus the coercion. So it's sort of an intersection of coercion and illusion, widespread psychosis of the human mind, that because somebody had purchased it, somebody had money to buy it, that now this belongs to them. This is think about it. If you do actually possess something, if it is actually yours, why would you then need to give someone else money to buy it? It is basically their tell. The men who are under the money illusions tell that they don't actually feel that anything belongs to them because they require money to validate themselves to themselves and to the world, saying that, look, I have this, and so I can do this, and everything is an object, and I buy it, and then it's mine, and then I can rent it out, I can do whatever I want with it, cut down all the trees, spray it with chemicals, no care. Just an object that a number is applied to, that then now that object belongs to me. And that mindset is indicative of a insecurity of that man. So all this modern world is built out of insecurity and hubris. All the inventions that we don't require, all the extraction of the finite resources and the decimation of the soil is all out of a insecurity and a weakness, projection of people who do not actually feel validated within themselves, so that they need these exterior status symbols and this and that, so that they can sort of derive meaning in their life out of those things. So they don't derive meaning from what is organic, ever-giving, and implicitly ours, our birthright. They derive meaning out of manufacturing perceptions that then they can see in others who have less than them, or who have nothing, who they've been able to manipulate into thinking they're worth nothing because they don't have the money. So this gives them that validation of, I'm better, I have more, and I deserve this, and you don't. So they require others in their mind to be lower than them for them to feel good about themselves and feel that they deserve it. So this is a big scheme. All this the monetary system, the financial system. It's all a big scheme, and it is an advancement of slavery, of the patriarchy. It is slavery perfected, so that the slaves enslave themselves and actually call themselves free. So the complete inversion of the truth, and this inversion of the truth is also apparent within the so-called science of the cosmology that most believe. The Copernican model, the so-called heliocentric model of the convex Earth in this big chaotic abyss with the sun that's 90 million miles away. And then also on the flip side, the other deception of the flat Earth, working hand in hand to distract people from the truth that we're inside a spherical world on the floor of the universe, that the Earth under our feet is actually spherical concave, and that there's a bending of the light that creates an optical illusion, so that we're not actually able to see, what this is. So, there is just the law of perspective as well, of optics, where things disappear in the distance, including the ability to see what the shape of the Earth is, and that in itself is also another element. So the truth is verified. What I'm saying is of the concave Earth through actual scientific geodetic survey, which was designed to actually determine the shape of the Earth, which determined it to be concave, and that's the rectilineator in 1897 in Naples Beach, Florida. So this was a physical geodetic survey conducted by a professional team, and it conclusively determined it to be spherical concave. And if they were to repeat this test, if we were to repeat it, it would say the same. Another observational evidence for concave Earth is that whenever 6 months difference, where supposedly we're on the other side of, based on the Copernican model, on the other side of a sun that blots out the sky, the night sky, whenever when we see it. Well, the Copernican model says we're on the other side of that every 6 months. You would think that there'd be a lot more stars that we're seeing, almost like a completely different night sky, being on the opposite side of this bright light that's blotting out the stars. But the truth is, obviously, it's the same stars, the same star globe, the same star map, all year round, with just a little bit of a tilt, so you get a little parallax. But it is the same star constellations year round. So we're not on the opposite side of this the so-called 90 million miles away nuclear furnace. It's just burning apparently in the middle of this big abyss, and gravity comes from above, permeates out from the source frequency, and so it is like a giant sonoluminescence bubble that we're inside. So if you see a sonoluminescence bubble, it's how light is generated through frequency in water. It creates this bubble, and there's a bubble within the bubble, and on the outer edge of the inside of the inner bubble of the bubble, there's this plasma light source that's generated, that's like a little contact lens of light that's beaming, and that is representative of the solar sun. And then the bubble inside the bubble, that contact lens looking plasma light is connected to, represents the star globe, represents the inner space that in mythology we call the black sun. So yes, nothing is as we were told. Light comes down and frays out, and then it creates this optical illusion that sometimes that we see like convexity or flatness, but it is spherical concave, and this will come to light in the near future on a wide scale. This is the so-called New Earth prophecy, and it is something that the ancients, there have been diagrams of this cosmology in the past, certain kinds of diagrams, and then Koresh, or Cyrus Teed, he changed the name to Koresh. He came along in the 1800s and the late 1800s with Ulysses Morrow and a team, again proved through the rectilineator. And then mere 2-3 years later in Michigan, another proof that came was through the Tamarack mines, through Chief Engineer J.B. Watson. He hung these lines a little bit of distance apart, but hung them in mine shafts, 1.5 mile long lines, and then measured the distance between the top, and then measured the distance between the bottom of the lines. And the distance between the bottom was broader, was a greater distance. So this indicates, obviously, that as gravity is pushing down from the center, which is a mere 4,000 miles above our heads, and it's pushing down, and then, of course, the bottom of the lines would be further apart based on the shape of the Earth and how gravity is permeating out from the center of the sky 4,000 miles above our heads. So the universe, the Earth, is approximately 8,000 miles in diameter, sea level to sea level within, and then approximately 25,000 miles in circumference. So there's this huge space in the middle, the sky, the space, inner space, that they're able to get up to with the technology and traverse to a degree, to a certain height. And that's how they're able to capture a lot of the pictures of so-called deep space and you know, the Earth and everything else. It's just they're inside the they're not as far up as what they say. For one, they're not anywhere close to the sun, the solar sun, but they're 300 miles or so above sea level, and able to take pictures and put those spliceless pictures together in ribbons of information to create anything they would like us to see of the Earth, to make it any sort of shape. And of course they've ran with the assumption and the what all this sociopolitical power is based on, the heliocentric Copernican model. The big scientists and everything else have been saying this for a long time, not actually practicing real science because they never proved it. Now that it's been disproven through science, they've of course continued to push the lie, and then a lie to cover the lie with the flat Earth, so that everyone's distracted between two untruths, and that we don't, they're just delaying the inevitable. The truth is out there. I'm speaking it right now, and it will become more and more understood. Concave Earth, the cellular cosmogony, as time goes on. So, anyway, yep. So I'm glad I covered in this video how money is an illusion and a slave tool. It's all debt. I did not mention the debt aspect of it, and how debt is connected to sin, and how the monetary financial system is an extension of the Abrahamic religion that imposes the idea of sin, which sin doesn't exist. The idea of sin is just a Abrahamic imposed concept, a Jewish slave mechanism, again, so that people feel that they owe. Sin and debt are the same or synonymous in ancient text. So sin is the idea of owing God, and then the whole God-fearing thing came from that. We should not fear our origins, the source frequency and where we're from, but they've also painted God as a father, omnipotent father, all-controlling entity, which is false. There is no moral agency entity that's all-controlling. Obviously, there's war and famine and genocide and exploitation of the most vulnerable animals constantly. Of course, if it breaks the idea of there being an all-controlling God who is moral, whenever all these terrible things are ongoing and will not stop unless we actually stop them and stop waiting around for the Sky Daddy to stop them. Stop waiting around for a man in the sky in the clouds to drop down and say he's the Messiah and stop them. This is all distraction. It's all a tool so that it perpetuates the evil, because as long as we're waiting around for these things that are not going to happen, the bad will continue to happen, and they will continue to profit and continue to have control through exploitation. So that is my video, and I hope that you learned something. I will be posting more. I will be doing various different kind of videos where I just speak off the cuff, what's going through my mind, unscripted for the most part. Might have a couple ones in here where I write something and read it, or where I read something from a book. But I appreciate, yes, this channel has no subscribers right now. It is a relatively new channel. But if you're listening to this right now, yeah, if you'd like to subscribe, if you'd like this content, if you'd like the edits I've edited or whatever, go ahead and subscribe and like the video or not. It's either way, it's all good. Much love.